Hi everyone! So today I thought I'd show you how to do some embroidery. Sewing 101, the kids who did it with me kind of already have an intro to this, but it's a really fun activity to do just to get your hands busy. So what you need is some fabric. I have mine on an embroidery hoop, but you can easily do it without this. This just holds it nice and tight so I can show you guys how to do things. Otherwise, you could use some thread, or if you have friendship bracelet string, that's also a really good tool. Some needles, scissors, and a pencil or marker. How I'm going to start this is by taking my fabric and I'm going to draw out what design I would like to stitch. So, I'm going to do it with a pencil, and I'm just going to do a simple little flower. There's my little flower that I drew. And now I'm going to string my needle up. I've got my needle and I'm going to start with the green first down on the stem. I've got my needle threaded and I'm going to leave it so it's just one ply. So I'm going to fold it over just a little bit so that it doesn't fall off, and on the other end I'm just going to do a simple knot. So then now I'm just going to do a running stitch. So I come up from the bottom and pull it as far as I can, and I'm going to go out just a little bit and go back down through the fabric. I'm going to skip a little bit of space and come up through the fabric and go back down through the fabric and keep doing this the whole length of the stem. Alright, so as you can see, I've done nice small little stitches all the way there. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go backwards towards the start over here, but fill in the little gaps where the stitches weren't before. So I come back up where that stitch was, and I go down where the other stitch starts. And that will fill it in to look like one straight line. So, I did this by going down and back with my stitches, and now I'm going to fill in the leaf pattern doing a satin stitch, which is basically where you cover the entire thing with stitches. So I go back and forth through the leaf. So there I go. I did my stitches there, I filled it in, and then I just did a little line around the edges here. So now I'm going to tie off my green because I'm all done with it. To tie it off, what I do is I take the string and I make a little loop and I bring the needle up through the hoop. The loop, not the hoop. So to do that again, I hold it like this, I fold it down so it kind of makes like a 4 shape, and then I bring the needle up through the bottom and then I hold on to this as long as possible, and then I put my finger right where the knot is and I pull this there. So then it gets the knot real close to the fabric. So I did the loop, and then I'm going to hold my finger right where the knot is and then pull this string. And then you can cut it off. A little blue flower with this string to show you how it works. So this string, I'm going to cut out how much I need. So what I do is on one end, I slide it through the needle, and then I find the other end, and the needle will drop down to the middle. So there's my needle in the middle now. And I take the two ends and I'm going to knot them together. Okay, so I just did a few knots so it won't go through the fabric. And I'm going to just continue doing some stitches all the way around my petals. If you wanted to, you could leave your stitches looking like this, or they had the gaps between, but I like the look of more the completed stitching, so I'm going to make sure I go through and come back on where I was. Okay, so now I've stitched all the way around my flower, and I'm going to tie off my string just like before. Alright, so here's my drawing, and now I'm going to go in right here and do some French knots. So I have my thread back on the needle, knotted at the end. So I'm going to come up through the fabric. What I'm going to do is the same as I'm tying a knot at the end, but instead I'm going to wrap the thread around the needle 2 to 3 times, holding it close to the fabric. And then you put it back through the fabric, close to where you initially came up through the fabric. And then you pull it tight, and you'll be left with a knot just like that. I'm just going to do a bunch of those knots all over this circle area. Okay, and there I go. I've got my whole flower and all my French knots done. I'm going to tie it off on the back. And there you go. So there's your embroidery. You can make any design you want. You can do any combination of stitches. I just showed you a few basic ones. There are plenty more that you can research and do on your own. Make sure you share with us anything that you have created. I'd love to see what designs you create, and until next time.